communications is I sent the supervisor. It was something called the Communications Leaders Conference. It was in Orlando, and it was specifically targeted towards women leaders. And so I thought it was appropriate that she go to them. She got a lot out of it. I'm not sure how much we did, but she did.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually took up almost that total amount. I don't see any of that on the horizon this year, but
Yeah.
based on what we spent last year, that's why I put it in.
We could put $1 in there.
Yeah, I mean, it is good to send people to stuff like that.
I agree. Education of our people is very important. And anytime you go to a conference, you gain something, whether it's fully valued or not. It's something that you bring back and you do a better job, you make it more efficient, or get a different piece of equipment that you thought you should have, but you get educated on that kind of stuff. So I had no problems with further education.
Well, people do get beat up for it because they think it's some sort of a junket or an excursion or something. And the guidance I give is that it's, that's the last thing it's supposed to be. So.
Okay, that's for moving along here. Can you talk about the new equipment again under dispatch?
And again, this is to, talk about replacement costs. Everything that came into the communications center was approximately 8 years ago, and it came in on a grant. It was very robust. And right now, most of the equipment is, having to do directly with dispatch and consoles, office equipment, some of the ergonomic things. That is based upon replacing that equipment, which is going to be supplemented by a $30,000 grant from the Ospey Valley Mutual Aid, which is all the cities and towns that we dispatch fire and EMS for. And they have already committed that money. I can give you a breakdown of exactly what that is. We have engineering diagrams and stuff like that. The initial purchase, we wanted to, start that next month, and then during 2012, we wanted to finish off the project. We actually based it on what was happening in Merrimack County. And he had a combination, that came in from the county funding and, through the mutual aid that, that's tenets of the system. It's very nice. And that's it. There is a final increase on the total budget on 4142. It's almost completely attributed to what the IT cost is going to be. So, not going into the second draft, I don't even want to present what the increase would be from 2011.
You got a bottom line?
Yeah, I thought I did.
I don't have a bottom line under your pencil-in figures.
Oh, you don't?
Okay.
822,706.
I got on your other sheet difference between year 2011 year 2012. is $153,338, or $388. $153,388 increase.
Yeah, that's the amount, the 153,388 to be covered by taxes. Right, between 2011 and 2012.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Did you get all that?
Oh, yeah.
No questions? Okay, we'll take it under advisement.
All right, I have the list of, you know, information to come back on.
Yep.
As a back brief for conferences under the sheriff's office, conferences, other fees and services.
Yep.
The phone VoIP, and that's to actually, you know, provide some sort of definition of what that is. Radio communications.
Yep.
In the 1650. Vehicle maintenance info. And I think what I'll plan on doing is, you know, finding out what the estimated annual cost for a police package is.
Okay.
For maintenance. Photocopy of fees.
Yep. Firearm training.
Extraditions and the firearms costs. And
I don't think you have to look at extraditions.
okay. And then under the communications center, the line 066 computer expense.
I think you need to look at this salary special dispatches. Electrical expense, radio and communication expenses, those three items
Oh,
on
the
the
electric.
dispatch. I guess that we really need to sit down and look at that computer expense and work with Cybertron.
Right. I don't have anything scheduled right now with him.
Yep.
You know, what I was going to do is do a timetable of, you know, the initial draft. We've been in that transfer right now.
Yep.
So he's been, we've been consumed with that. But I would like to have an initial contact with him, you know, within 3 weeks. Sit down. He handed me the county contract and he said, this is what I do with the county.
Yep. John just walked in.
Well, there he is right now. We were just beating you up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
John, we need to sit down and look at the contracts, not only with the complex, but also with the sheriff's department, to see if we can't reduce that cost.
Okay.
It's getting up pretty high, and we got some issues with the present contract with the complex. And now we're looking at a contract in the sheriff's department. I'd like to at least talk about combining all those to see if we can't reduce the cost somewhat. You can't be at both places at the same time.
Sure.
Okay, but we can talk about that. We'll have to set up a date when we can sit down and iron that out.
Sure.
Okay?
We can do that.
Okay. And thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yes.
It has something to do with the budget. I read in the paper the other day that one of our deputies was over in Freiburg.
Yes.
Why is that necessary?
Well, they called, like, you know, for police assistance in a mutual aid fashion. We don't have specific agreements with them, but, you know, in an emergency, there's certain...
They don't have a dog?
No, evidently not. And the same problem they have in Oxford County, Maine is the same situation here. Nobody's working. So they have an interesting setup. Either state police is covering the county, or Oxford County Sheriff's is covering the county.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, normally there's only...
They have a substation for the sheriffs.
Right.
In Brownfield.
Yeah. But yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up. She did a bang-up job. She was able to support that town.
Well, you smell it well.
And they go back and forth. I mean, Freiburg often goes into Conway and vice versa, you know, during some catastrophic event. So. Yeah, she did an outstanding job.
Good. Thank you.
All right. You need John Rich, or he's probably gonna stand by and...
We need Robin. Robin and John are together. We need to get to another meeting, sir.
Yeah.
I'm here, but I didn't hear. How come she's not going to call?
That would be great.
Changes.
Thank you.
Gotta go out for a minute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, let's go to human resources.
John's going to talk a little bit about Commissioner Swanson, the IT piece after
Okay.
I'm done. He was supposed to be on the agenda, but I don't know what happened. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I want you to mention where the changes are.
Okay. Everything's pretty much the same. The major change that I'm making this year is I've asked for an increase in salary for my assistant. And several of the reasons being that my department has taken on a lot of responsibilities that your county administrator would handle, and I've had to shift a lot of that responsibility, my HR responsibility piece to my assistant. We do a lot of things that most HR departments don't do, including the website. We do a lot of IT stuff, safety committee, things like that. In looking at her job description and looking at her salary, she is, both of us are the second lowest paid HR people in the state. But Stephanie has really stepped up to the plate and taken over a lot of responsibilities and making sure that my department runs very smoothly. I'm looking for her to be brought up to par with several other employees in the county that I think even her duties outweigh what they do, but at least her salary be brought up to par with them. So I'm looking at an increase in her salary of around $3,182.40.
Medical insurance changes.
Yep, we had to add a spouse to that, so that there was an increase there. If you look, everything else, like the retirement, unemployment,
Yep.
that is pretty much the same. Dental, we added a spouse.
Everything's the same except down to information technology.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my figures, my final figures back on my advertising yet. Because
Okay.
we made changes in the subcommittee last year to that amount to accurately reflect what we were actually spending. Because I assumed taking on all the advertising for all the departments.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for a final figure. I know, actually, I got one of the slips in my mailbox this morning that had more advertising on it, so.
Okay.
So, excuse me, if you have taken over the advertising for all of the
Employment advertising.
employment advertising, rather, should not their advertising come out of their budgets?
Yeah.
It did last year for employment. There's other advertising that they do. We did RFPs and things of that.
We need to, yeah.
That's
I know
precisely
what
what I
you're
meant.
Yep.
And you said that was for...
Would you look at all of the advertisement in everybody's budget and see what you do and what they do
Yep.
and separate it out?
Yeah, I think we did that last year, so I'll have
Do it again.
Kathy just pull those figures. Yeah, I can do that. I'm sorry.
So why is there a decrease in IT?
in IT, we had the website